So for this role, you had all of that you brought to the part. How are you at memorizing?
Well, I hired somebody to spend 3 weeks with me, I think, and we just drilled every day for 3 weeks. There's a lot of, in Archaeology of a Woman, there's a lot of verbiage and a lot of nonsensical verbiage given her condition. And it was hard to memorize the nonsensical verbiage and get it all right, because that's an important part of the story.
Absolutely.
And
I know it's so hard for even 20-year-olds to memorize a script that is really based on your character.
Yeah.
So you have so much dialogue.
yeah.
So you really worked hard on that, because once you get that and you own that, then you have this background.
Yeah.
You're really able to put those together and focus just on being.
Yeah. Well, my emotions are really close to my surface, under the skin, so I don't have to work very hard for emotions. Rage and tears come fairly easy to me.
Yes.
But I'm lucky because I've never had to do anything else but either act or teach acting. I've taught for 35 years. I taught Sandra Bullock when she was 22, 23. I coached Liza Minnelli and Barbra Streisand, and Roseanne wanted to learn how to cry on cue for a television movie we were both doing. And Billy Paxton, I was his first acting teacher, and Kathy Green, I was her first acting teacher at the
Where did you teach?
I taught at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute for about 15 years, and then in different places in LA and New York. Now I coach one-on-one here.
Oh, okay, because I studied there in the early 80s.
Yeah, I would have been there.
Mark
Marno.
Marno,
Yeah.
and
Hetty
Joanne.
Sontag.
Yeah, Hetty Sontag.
Joanna Baron passed over. She was wonderful.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, those were my two teachers.
She and I did a movie directed by Neil Young called Human Highway, which is supposed to come out again. Joanna. Yeah, it's a neat family having the Actors Studio and the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute.
Yeah, so what do you think it takes to, since you're so gifted, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and why aren't you getting more roles like Meryl Streep?
Well, that's a good question. I honestly think the answer is that I made my priority my ministry and my spiritual path. And so if you talked about where I was putting my energy at any given time, I might be being a caretaker instead of being an actor. Or I might be at this seminar or that seminar, or learning about getting off the planet this lifetime, completing my karma this lifetime, you know, going home to God and not having to come back because I didn't get it right this lifetime.
Right.
You know.
Okay, so that was your priority. That
It's
took
my
up most of your
priority. I
time.
think if it was all about acting, well, I was pronounced dead from drugs in '66, and I had a life after life experience, and basically I was visited big time by Christ, and it was sort of like, you can stay here or you can go back and tell your friends about the other side. And so it was such a profound experience that when I came back into my body, I was a different person. And before, it was just all about acting. Sally, 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 Sally. And when I came back, I wanted to be a nurse, you know. I had
this is
so
in the late
dramatically
60s?
changed. 66, yeah. And I wasn't a nurse, but that was the first thing on my mind was, well, I don't want to act anymore. It's too ego-oriented, and it's too, there's so much competition, and it's so self-involving. And unlike many of the really successful actresses in my generation, I haven't, for the most part, been married. I've been married twice briefly, but for the most part, I've been alone in my life. And if you notice the women who really work all the time, they're all married. And the Boys Club still runs this business. You know, so no matter how you look at it, they look at you strangely if you're not married. You know, if they think, well, you know, how come she doesn't fit in? And I remember Robert Redford was nice enough to get me the part in The Sting, playing his girlfriend, the burlesque dancer. And when he heard I was going to live in LA after doing The Sting out here, he said, Sally, no, they won't understand you here. You have to go back to the New York theater where they'll understand you. And I said, but my spiritual teacher's out here. And if I have to choose, I want to be near him. So 40 years I had with John Roger, and if I'm any good at all at this thing called love, he taught me, you know.